back, everyone. Welcome back to another day of the StarsWar 11 EU and America's Closed Qualifier, day number 4. I'm of course host VIP, and with me I'm joined by the amazing people in the chat and by these amazing players as well. As we are nearing the end of the qualifier, we're nearing the end here as we already have 2 players qualified. For those that are curious, it is top 3. Top 3 actually make it through into the main event. Spirit and SKillous are already in that top 3. But as you can see, math on stream, there are 4 players left and only 3 slots available. A qualification match is going to be later on in the evening. It's going to be Rainer versus Showtime to determine who qualifies and who gets knocked out here and now in the StarsWar 11 EU and NA Closed Qualifier. To start things off though, we have a PvT, SKillous and Spirit. They've proven themselves to be the best here amongst all players in the bracket. Again, Spirit, he's one of the best Terrans in Europe. SKillous, likewise, one of the best Protosses in Europe as well. And SKillous especially had some pretty goddamn impressive results. I was shocked, I was surprised. If you're unaware, SKillous knocked down both Showtime and Rainer. SKillous, he has been on fire in this tournament. I've been very impressed. I mean, SKillous, he's always been an amazing player. Don't get me wrong, he's always been amazing at what he does. But I would say he's like top 3 Protoss in the EU, and I would favor Showtime. I would favor Rainer over SKillous, and he brought both of them down. So SKillous, he's on fire. He has been looking so damn good. But now he's up against Spirit. You know, SKillous, he's proven his worth. He's proven his mettle against other Protoss players in the PvP, proven it against other Zerg players in the PvZ. Now we go for the trifecta, the Terran player, Spirit. We have to test every matchup here of SKillous, and to be fair, PvT, this is pre-patch. You know, the patch is still in PTR, the new upcoming patch is still not live, and this matchup is arguably working against SKillous's favor here. So we'll see if SKillous can bounce back. We'll see if he can maintain himself and keep the run alive, keep the dream alive. I want hope, I want to believe. Here we go. We have our vetoes, we have our players before us. SKillous with his lovely cam. Unfortunately, Spirit, no cam available from him. A little bit of a feels bad, man. But regardless, we have our vetoes. We have Hard Lead, we have Solaris being vetoed by SKillous. Some of these smaller maps have been vetoed, makes sense. Meanwhile, the larger maps have been vetoed by Spirit, Equilibrium, and Radisson Station. So we've gotten rid of the extreme ends of large and small, and now we have everything in between. We have Golden Aura, followed by Hecate, Sight Delta, Oceanborn, and Alcyone. Those are our 5 maps here. It's going to be a best of 5. Who will advance on? I mean, again, the pressure is a little bit off. Both these players have already qualified for the main event, but they're still playing for seeding and for a boost in that prize money. So there is still quite a bit of money on the line here, and of course, the winner of this will advance on to the grand finals. The loser gets knocked down to face off against the winner of Showtime and Rainer in the lower bracket finals. There you go. Catching up. We are catching up. Does anyone know when the new patch will be live in Australia? The new patch, when it does go live, it should be live. I think it's usually live in the Americas first, but only by a day. But here we go. We're diving into our game. Into game 1, and in the bottom right hand corner we have SKillous for Team Liquid. In the top left we have Spirit from Na'Vi. Let's go. Now, very quickly, before I get ahead of myself, before I forget, predictions in the chat are going to be delayed. But if you're in the chat, if you want to get your gamba going, then don't you worry, because the predictions will soon be open. So you can start thinking about who you want to place your bets on. Again, SKillous has been looking damn good, but Spirit is still an amazing player in his own right. I would be surprised if this is a 3-0 in either direction. Would be surprised. We'll see. Upper bracket finals. Alright, we have Spirit and we have SKillous. Beautiful. If you're in the chat, predictions are now open for the next 2 minutes. For the next 2 minutes here, predictions open. There you go. You can place your bets on how you believe this series will unfold and how you think this series will turn out. So best of luck, everyone. Best of luck. As for now, we're just settling into our openers themselves. We are just settling in. We do have our Probe Scout moving out across the map here from the side of SKillous. And again, SKillous, he himself, I think, has even admitted that he's been working on PvT, that it is the matchup that he is still trying to improve upon, still trying to really refine. And I haven't casted SKillous against a Terran player in quite some time. I'm excited to see how he does perform. I think the most recent performance or recent result that I remember is that Nickeract did bring him down. I remember seeing an upset where Nickeract was able to bring SKillous down, and I was very impressed there by Nickeract. Again, Nickeract, another up-and-coming player that has been really getting some better and better results over the past couple of weeks and the past couple of months. But again, you know, that was a one-off thing. Potentially, we'll see. We'll see if Spirit can live up to what other Terrans have accomplished, or if SKillous has been improving. For now, nothing too crazy. It was an economic opener out of Spirit, going for that factory as a follow-up. So CC, then into factory. So something much more economic out of Spirit. Probe Scout did confirm that, as I believe we were able to get within range of the CC. Reaper getting across the map and is going to apply a bit of pressure here. Going to poke, going to prod, but shouldn't really get too much done here. So far, Skill's doing a great job at keeping up, and he should cancel the shade, gets a shot off, and forces that Reaper to back the hell off. With that, we have our take of choice. Not a Twilight Council, it's a Stargate. So Stargate opener out of SKillous should be going into Oracle production. Meanwhile, the Reaper is going to try and bypass the Adept. Does slip into the main. Yeah, Adept slightly out of position. The Reaper does get behind the mineral line, and it looks like we will get a full scout off. We do get behind, and we get eyes on the Stargate. Big scout there by Spirit. He's now fully aware of what's going on, and now he's getting ready back at home. Even uses the KDA charge to escape. Very nice control out of Spirit. SKillous, meanwhile, was unable to deny that scout. He has been found out, and the likelihood of his Phoenixes getting much damage done is pretty low. Now that we've seen the Stargate, now that we know about the Phoenixes, Spirit should be amassing Cyclones, should be preparing the rest of his army. We could even go for a Viking first. As we can see, that is not a Viking first, that is going to be a Medevac first. Okay, so Spirit really wants to be in the face of his opponent, really wants to try to apply as much pressure as possible here, and maybe even get some damage done, or even catch a Phoenix. We'll see. We shall see. So now, Phoenixes are amassing. Again, Spirit, he's fully aware of that at this point. He is aware of said Phoenixes. Back at home, that is going to be a second Cyclone on the way. He's continuing marine production. He has not set up for a mine drop. Very important to take note of that. And this early move out, I love it here from Spirit. Honestly, in the early game, when you go for a Stargate opener, you're so vulnerable as a Protoss because your Phoenixes can't really do much. They have to lift up one unit at a time to actually defend and kill units. And they move out. They do catch the medevac, but what do we have on the ground? We need a shield battery. We need a shield battery. We need as many units as possible. We do have a couple of adepts. I know that much. We have a handful of adepts. The Phoenixes are coming back home. The Interceptor's coming in. Spirit, can he catch him? He will. He does catch one Phoenix, and he will get the other as well. Massive loss for SKillous. Two Phoenixes go down, and just like that, I think that may be too much damage. He's throwing down another pylon just to keep everything powered. He has that shield battery. He has an overcharge. He has 3 adepts, 1 stalker, 1 Phoenix. He pulls the boys, and he needs time for that immortal. Damage is going to be done, and probes are going down. Boys are falling. Shield battery got targeted. We get 13 worker kills. The immortal is finally going to come out, but it's too little too late. 16 probes have already gone down. The damage was dealt. Good push here by Spirit. Again, just punishing the vulnerability of the Protoss player that goes for a Stargate opener. On top of that, able to just outmaneuver and catch out those Phoenixes was massive. And with that, we're not done, not even close, as finally the medevacs are going to be able to, sorry, the Cyclones are going to be shut down, but they get 20 probe kills in total. An insane amount of damage. And just like that, SKillous, he's all in. Honestly, like SKillous, he has to make a miracle happen here to bounce back in this series. He's down heavily in workers, down in economy, he's rebuilding, he's going for a bay. He could try to go for disruptors as he loses another Phoenix. Ay. Not like this. So another Phoenix does fall. Behind this again, the bay is still in production. That could be for Colossi or Disruptors. It's a tough decision to make here in this position. It might be worth going Disruptor just for like a Hail Mary Nova. But again, those are few and far between. And Spirit, he's a good enough player where he can avoid those Novas as well. He is good enough. Yeah, behind this, he's just building up towards his timing. There's no rush. There's no rush for Spirit. He's already ahead. He's just getting into stim. Combat shields, quite a bit of a supply block. The supply, it's oh god, this is a brutal supply block actually for Spirit. That does help SKillous at least a little bit. But we can see Spirit, he's working on a 3rd CC. He himself is not going all in. He's not, again, just pulling the trigger too early. He's not getting too antsy by any means. Spirit, he's just chilling, he's stable, and we'll see if SKillous can survive the eventual push of Spirit. For now, we do have detection, we do have our Phoenixes being active, so the other way that SKillous could come back here is if Spirit goes for drop play instead of a main push, then there's a chance that the medevacs could be caught out. There is a chance here that you could punish Spirit for being a little bit too active and too mobile and not really respecting the presence of SKillous. But the army is moving out. Tanks are going to be sieging up. We get the salvage on the bunker. Nice control out of Spirit, saving that Marauder as well. And you can see that SKillous cannot deny the third. It just can't be done. There's too much on the ground. Spirit, a bit of an ambitious stim there to try to chase down the army. He may have to stim a second time as he barely does get a sentry. There you go, he gets a sentry. Good force field TR to SKillous, making the best out of a bad situation. The Colossi does arrive. We get the Colossi. We're forcing back the army. Again, a bit of a haphazard attack by SKillous. But he is holding. He's barely holding on, fighting out of range of the tanks. Again, Spirit a little bit too trigger happy there to dive on that army when he did. I think it was a little bit too cavalier, a little bit too adventurous of Spirit. He did bleed out a lot of units. A good moment for SKillous. But he needs more. He needs more of these good moments. Phoenixes are going to be able to get a couple of hits in. There's not too many Marines. So we can shave off some HP. Likewise, the tanks are slowly freaking forward. SKillous is going for Sky Toss, by the way. Oh my god, that's the second Stargate. There's Fleet Beacon, +1 air attack. We're trying to rush into Sky Toss. I mean, that's another way to come back in this game. If Spirit gives SKillous too much time, then we can bounce back, but that's a big if. That is going to be a big if here. As SKillous again, just hoping for the Doom drop into the main. And he's slowly buying time. Fleet Beacon is now done. Second Stargate has finished up. We are amassing Phoenixes just to deny any kind of drop play for the time being. I almost said extend the Malance. We do have annual pulse crystals on the way. That is Phoenix range, and we're not getting into carriers yet. We're still just massing pure Phoenix or Phoenix Colossus. Again, not something you see too often, but it is a really good way to just gain map control, shut down drop play, even harass across the map. But from here, we should be working towards something like carrier production. Or Tempest. Either or. They both have their place. Here we go. As we are just going to be settling in. The army once again moving out. This time with EMPs. This time with Vikings. Tempests are on the way, but we need more time. Wow, we do need more time. As you can see, SKillous, he's working towards a third Stargate and more Tempest as well. There's a world, if he's given like 30 seconds, like let him get a wave of Tempest in, then maybe he can hold on. Scan does reveal the army. That's 4 Colossi on the ground. SKillous, can we hold? Tempest have been revealed. Big scout. Big scan there by Spirit. He now knows. He now knows what is going on. We do see Spirit pulling back upon seeing those Tempests. Spirit doesn't commit, not yet. He is up in supply, by the way. Spirit, he has a massive supply advantage. Carriers now in production. Can SKillous hold? Can he survive? Now, the scary thing about what's happening right now is that both armies are maxing out. Spirit will max out first, and the reality is that Spirit has a better army. Without Storm, without Disruptors, there's nothing to stop him. And, oh, that's a lot of Vikings. The reality is that this Skytos army from SKillous isn't looking too imposing as it otherwise would be. There's not enough support. A good kiting so far with the Vikings. Phoenixes are going down. Spirit just having his way with this army. He's going for the Tempest. Oh, sorry, going for the Phoenixes even. Barely doesn't get the Tempest. Gets one of those Phoenixes towards the end. The army does rotate around. We force a cancel here on the 4th. Oh, a big EMP on the Phoenixes, and it looks like the Phoenix count is being reset completely. A big loss. We're going for a Doom Drop. At the same time, we bypass the army. Doom drop into the main base. We're camping the production. Cannon's going to be going down. Yeah, the Vikings are going ham. Not a Fanteo. You can see the Vikings, they've reset the Tempest and the Colossus count towards the left. And here in the main base, everything is on fire. GG gets called, and Spirit will take game number 1. GG. Again, just a solid start there from Spirit. Was just a solid start from him. And with that, he does take a lead in the series. As a reminder, when it came to the early game, that's what it came down to. If you remember, SKillous, he lost 20 probes. 20 probes in the early game to the first push. The first push didn't just kill 20 workers, it was also able to catch Phoenixes, able to mow through a good chunk of the ground army as well. That first push from Spirit basically secured him the game. It's so difficult to recover from that. We saw that SKillous almost did. I mean, he was working on cutting corners, going pure Skytoss Colossus, but as you saw there, it is a very, very fragile composition, especially when your opponent is that far ahead. And we saw that Spirit, again, just cool, calm, and collected play there, just getting into his third, getting into his fourth, maxing out with his Bio Viking, with his Ghost, with his EMPs, and his Spirit, he just had his way with that Skytoss, or with Skillous' main army. GG. GG, well played. Spirit does take game number 1. SKillous, can we bounce back in game number 2? Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we do have SKillous for Team Liquid. Bottom left, sorry. And in the top right, we have his opponent, we have Spirit for Na'Vi. Let us go. And hopefully we can bounce back here. I mean, I'm sure we can. I don't think game 1 was really too indicative of the skill here of SKillous. Again, game 1 was just a really rough start. It was just a rough start, losing too much too early on, and it was just too much to recover from. You know, there's only so much you can do in that position, you know, given Hero, Classic, Max Packs, any other Protoss player in that position, and we would have seen a similar result there, where it's just so difficult to bounce back from that. But we'll see. We'll see how things do change here in game number 2. We'll see how we do adapt over time and what we bring to the table in this second game. So far, eBay block. eBay block coming in from Spirit. It is spotted well ahead of time. We have plenty of boys to be pulled here, 5 probes in total, and we should force a cancel. We should force a cancel on the eBay. We won't really delay for too long here, and we should be able to expand where we would like to. Let's get a little bit more progression on that eBay, and there it is, we do force a cancel. As we did mention, the goal, the purpose here is that if SKillous didn't scout, then we force the unnatural natural. Then we force a massive delay in the expansion. But because SKillous was able to get eyes on it really soon, he's able to cancel it, deal with it, and expand freely. Now, I would still give the edge to Spirits. Like, that eBay block did force a lot of lost mining time. And because we cancel the eBay, it's not really a big investment for the Terran player either. So, very nice start here by Spirit. Behind this, he's going for a Rax expand into his factory. So once again, an economic opener by Spirit. Is going to be that economic opener. Behind this, we do have our just CC on the way, factory just now starting up as well, and we have yet to determine our tech of choice, whether it's a Stargate or a Twilight Council. Personally, as we saw in that last game, Stargate openers can leave you quite vulnerable, and it's going to be a Stargate once again. If Spirit realizes what's going on, just like the last game, he can go into earlier Cyclones and apply a lot of pressure early on as well. I was going to say that Twilight Council Blink Stalker based openers are very safe. They're very safe to open up. You can be aggressive, you can be assertive, you can contain your opponent and expand from there. You could argue that it doesn't scale as amazingly, or it isn't as greedy as you otherwise could be. You don't cut as many corners as you can with a Stargate opener, which is why it's appealing, just because of how efficient it is and you can get into fast Colossus production. But as we saw, it's a little bit risky at times as well. As for now, Spirit just dancing with these adepts. With said Marines. I believe Spirit skipped his Reaper, so he has very limited scouting information. Doesn't really know what's going on. He has not seen the main base. Marines are going to be walling across the map. Thankfully, we have a safety shield battery back at home for SKillous, so he should be able to prepare in time. go. We're going to be just dancing on forward here with the Hellion Marine. Again, thankfully the shield battery has completed, so we're perfectly safe and sound. We're going to be forcing Spirit back. Oh, behind this, rushing to a very fast armory. Okay, I was not expecting that. Spirit. Oh, Hellion does get caught. But yeah, it's a very fast armory. Now, thankfully, there is a robo. You can see in the production tab, there is a robotics facility on the way, which means we do have access to detection. It means that a mine drop isn't going to end the game, but it could. Here comes a mine drop. We have 4 Widow Mines here in that medevac. Very risky considering that there are Phoenixes out on the map, but we know where they are. We did see the Phoenixes move towards the top left, at least Spirit did, so he knows that he's safe to zoom in towards the bottom right, towards that natural base. Does go for the boost, and he will get in just in time, but there are some Phoenixes to lift up. And how many of these can we lift? First Widow Mine is going to be lifted, the second Widow Mine is as well, but we have 2 more in the main. And the shot is going to be going off. Up! Up! The retargeting! Ah! Shot goes off. We get 1 probe only. Nice cleanup here. Good reactions out of Skills. He does shut it all down. And the mine drop doesn't do much. Let's go. Skillless with a much cleaner start so far in this game compared to game 1. Spirit continuing drop play because of course he is. God damn it. So he made another 4 Widow Mines and he's going for a Cyclone or Cyclone production behind this as reactor Cyclones are on the way. Again, as we can see, I believe we're only making a handful of Cyclones just to help with map control and just to make sure that the Phoenixes don't get out of hand. Close production well underway as the bay is already done. Ooh, Spirit does set up a bit of a trap there. That's a lot of Widow Mines. It's a lot of Widow Mine shots are waiting to go off. Observer does confirm the reactor on the factory, does confirm the Cyclone production. So we are aware that there's no tanks, that there's no additional Widow Mines, so we can make the guess. We can assume. Behind this, Skills getting his 3rd base up and running. Colossi well underway, and we have more of a back and forth. This time we do have a much more competitive game too between these 2 players. No clear advantage yet. So looking at the units as well, I mean, Skillless, he's up a base, he's up 10 workers, but he should be, as a Protoss player in this matchup, should be up a base and up in those workers. Meanwhile, keeping an eye on his Spirit, I'm waiting for that 3rd CC to be thrown down, which I believe is already in the main. I believe we're just getting ready here to attempt to land it on location. I'm going to be moving out. Scan does end up shutting down that Observer. Keen eyes out of Spirit. Very well done. And there it is. Okay, CC is now on the way. Sorry, I thought it was already done. It's just now starting up for Spirit. And the move out hasn't spotted. We do spot the move out. Mine drop going into the main base is spotted by the pylon. And Skillless, does he respond? Does he react? Phoenixes are on the way. And they get here just in time. The Widow Mines are going to be dropping though. We lift up 1, 2, 3, 4. Up! The panic lifts out of Skillless, even lifted some of his own probes again, just to be sure. At the same time, we dive on top of the main army. Shield battery goes down. No overcharge. Ooh, late reaction here by Skillless. Overcharge is going to be denied. Mine shots going off, and this 3rd base is being broken. We get into the middle line. 5 probes go down. We should be able to barely clean this up, but that Colossus is getting low. The Colossus, no, it does go down, and oh, that's an expensive loss here for Skillless, bleeding out 7 probes to Colossi. Mine shot not quite going off. Ooh, where's the anti-air? Where is the anti-air? Medevacs are going down. These are some expensive losses for Spirit. Bleeding out both of his medevacs, losing a Marauder. Very nicely done here by Skillless. And from here, the armies, they bounce off each other. They do bounce off. Skillless still barely maintains that worker lead. As a reminder, Spirit, he's about to be taking his 3rd base on location, as it's going to be floating over from the main. As Spirit is getting ready for his 3rd, Skillless is taking his 4th. And we are working towards the mid game, towards that next step. We have Archon and Storm, the capacity for Archon and Storm on the way here for Skillless. Meanwhile, we do have the Ghost Academy, and EMP is going to be available for Spirit. So we're going to start to incorporate a couple of spellcasters. We are getting there. Are on the way. Till then, Zelt's going to be forced back as the run-by was attempted. As the game is going to be settling down for a moment, we're just rebuilding all those Colossi that we lost earlier. We're getting into Ghost production as well. Things are still pretty neck and neck. They're still pretty neck and neck between our two players as we're just settling into our 3 and 4 base setup. Just calming things down. And again, SKillous showing us that he can hold his own against Spirit if he isn't just like, immediately behind in the early game. With a much more solid early game and early to mid game, we just are able to thrive so much more. This time, no Skytoss transition. We're working towards +2 and a gateway explosion. So we're going for a ground-heavy style here from the side of SKillous, at least for now. Charge those Colossi. We have the Temple Archives, but as we can see, no Storm, just Archons. Zealot Run-By going to delay the 4th base. It's going to be delayed. As the army is now being active. Okay, we do have a Zealot Runway here on the right-hand side. Main army is going to be clashing towards the center. Ooh. SKillous has to back off, and Spirit is going for the 4th, by the way. Sorry, he's going for the 5th. He's threading the 5th base. SKillous, he does rotate over in time. Does get on top of the ramp. Going to be able to force back the army. Ooh, we do take a mine shot to the face, though. Nice EMP on the Archons as well. Oh, and SKillous, his army is a little bit disjointed. You can see the Colossi and the Feast is lagging behind. Good kiting so far out of Spirit. But we do catch up. We shut down one of those ghosts. And there are barely any medevacs. The rest of them, they're coming over. And it looks like SKillous, he's able to reinforce. He's within range. He's denying the 4th base. Trying to at least. Yeah, decent force fields as well. The Bio army just struggles to engage. Big EMP here on the Phoenixes. Spirit kiting his heart out, and it looks like he can maybe deal with all these Zelts, but there are still 3 Colossi. There's still so many. Marauders, they just cannot engage. GG gets caught. It looks like SKillous, he barely does break Spirit. And we have a tied up series. 1-1. GG. Let's go. GG, here we go. Again, SKillous with a much cleaner early game this time. Able to get into his 3-way setup, able to survive the initial push of Spirit, and able to snowball out of control. We had Spirit having some really good engagements and some really nice army control, that is true, but he unfortunately wasn't able to engage with the army until it was already in his face at his front door, denying that 3rd, forcing a fight. And basically Spirit, he had to commit there, because if he didn't, then he loses his 4th base, and then SKillous gains access to the natural. He would have kept going, would have kept pushing. GG. GG, well played. On top of that, it isn't just that SKillous didn't take damage, so he's ahead. It's that he didn't take damage, and also that Spirit committed quite a lot to his mine drops. Remember, he went for a very fast armory into a quadruple mine drop, and he did that twice. He lost 2 medevacs and 8 widow mines, and what did he really get done? He got like 2 probes. Like, it was barely anything, and again, that just wasn't worth it there for Spirit. Meanwhile, in top left-hand corner, we do have SKillous for Team Liquid. And in the bottom right, we have Spirit for Na'Vi. Let's go. As we're getting into Game 3. But again, like, the committed mine drops just weren't really worth it for Spirit, unfortunately. He tried to create an opening for himself to break the 3rd, if you remember, at the same time as that 2nd mine drop, and he wasn't able to break that either. He did kill some Colossi, which was good, don't get me wrong, but needed more than that, and with that, we're now getting into Game 3. We're into a tied-up series. As a reminder, this is still a best of 5. Best of 5, not a best of 3, so plenty more games ahead of us. We still have a series ahead. Here we go. And so now we do have our probes scouting towards the edges of the map here, or towards the center, just making sure that there is no proxy. Quick scout before moving out across the map. Likewise, Spirit chilling back at home. It looks like Spirit is going for a Rax expand. There is no second gas geyser, so no fast factory. This time, likewise, there's no eBay block out of Spirit either. No eBay block. So pretty standard game so far to Spirit, which makes sense. We're loading into Side Delta. For those that are curious, Side Delta does have a ramp. Leading into the natural, so it's so much more defendable than other maps would be. It is very defendable. And with that, we do have more economic builds. Speaking of, there it is, CC on the high ground, so a bit of a safer approach out of Spirit. He doesn't want to be forced to cancel his base. Just a safer location. Does mean it's a little bit inefficient, but safer nonetheless. So we are settling in. From here, we're going to be calming things down. We have our tech of choice for the first time. Oh my god, okay. SKillous, calm down. For the first time in this series, that is not a Stargate, that is going to be a Twilight Council opener. Suddenly we gain access to Blink, and I do appreciate that SKillous is now varying things up, and he's going to be forcing Spirit, not so much on the back foot, but forcing just some more attention out of him. Like, hey, you need to pay attention to this. You need to realize what my tech, what my opener is. Otherwise, I could catch you off guard, and I could punish you. So it is going to be Blink. There is a second gateway on the way. We're waiting for a third, potentially even a fourth gateway out of SKillous. For now, just 2-gate Blink. And Spirit is getting to his 1-1-1. There it is. Blink is on the way, as we did mention. Natural base is being taken as we speak. Is being taken here. Adept is going to attempt to shade into the main. Doesn't quite commit, though, as the wall is up. Behind this, okay, so it was a 1-1-1, and we see what it was for. We see an add-on swap here, and we have a tech lab on that starport. Banshees and Cloak on the way here for Spirit. Bold move. This is not often seen in this matchup, but it can be very effective if it goes by unscouted. If there's no detection, if there's not enough anti-air, then those Banshees, they can wreak havoc and they can just go to town in a mineral line. Meanwhile, we just avoid the army. The wall has been thrown. Oh no! The wall's on the wall. Reaper does slip in, but the Hellions don't. Oh my god, I guess it was only enough for the Reaper. Yeah, the Hellions, they're not able to gain access. They will be shut down. You can even see Spirit just checking, confirming, like, hold up, I can't squeeze through. He cannot. He cannot. Ooh. As once again tries to force his way in, the Reaper Hellion is completely shut down. Now, what is scary is that ideally we're meant to use them in unison. What I mean by that is that ideally you have the Hellion Reaper distracting the Stalkers on one side, and then bam, your Banshee goes in from the other side and heads for a mineral line and gets damage done. Now there's no multi-prong harassment. Now there's nothing to try to distract and keep the attention of Skillous away. So this Banshee, I'm not convinced it's going to get a lot done, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, the Banshee making its way into the main has potential always, but not as much as the otherwise once did. Yeah, we have detection in position. We blink on forward and we shut the Banshee down. We get one probe kill. That's not worth it. That's not worth it for Spirit whatsoever. He threw away his Hellions, he threw away his Reaper, and he threw away his Banshees as well. And now Skillous has so much control. He's containing his opponent. He's taking his third base on location. He is free to do whatever he wants, and Spirit is stuck at home. He's just just going to be stuck at home for the near future at least. Building up his tanks, working towards +1, stim, combat shields. Regardless, though, he's stuck at home, and Skillous, he can just freely work on upgrades, work on tech, work on expansions. There it is. Forge and a base on the way for Colossus production for +1. Charge just now started up. And Spirit, he is being active with one more Banshee. He did make two Banshees with Cloak. So he can maybe redeem himself with this Banshee. It has potential to get a couple of probe kills. We'll see if we can get it done. Skillous is moving out. Is moving out without Observer. He does confirm everything. He does confirm the 3-1-1 setup, which is a standard 2-base setup here from Spirit. There's nothing that really screams all in from the side of Spirit yet. He could decide to pull the boys, or we should soon be seeing a third CC as we move out. Speaking of, there it is on the production tab. Third CC is on the way for Spirit. So again, not an all-in. He's going to try to macro out of this. But it's going to be an uphill battle for Spirit. It is going to be uphill. As he's moving on towards the low ground. Slowly leapfrogging forward. Does slowly leapfrog forward here. As the Banshee is going to be cornered in between the bases. No damage is dealt, but thankfully, at least the Banshee is keeping the army busy. As we can see here, we have a tri-pronged attack. We have the Banshee in between the natural and the third. We have a drop head towards the main, and we have the main army head towards the third base as well. So 3 different prongs. Can SKillous keep up? That double drop is on the way. Tanks are sieging. And the Observer does barely spot the drop. Do we have a warp in? Do we have a warp in? The answer is no. We have to recall instead. Colossus' recall. The third base is left a little bit more exposed. With mines are set up. Oh, they will be cleaned up though. Good force fields here out of SKillous. Buying time. Buying time for his Colossi to rotate over. Of course, he has to keep some units to defend. But he's got 1 Colossus for each base. Or for his main and for his third. And SKillous does hold. Now, as he's holding on, we can see the Spirit is taking advantage of that. He's expanding. You know, as he's contained his opponent, he's taking his own third. Ghost Academy's on the way. Spirit is still in this. And after shutting down some of these pylons, we could even try to pull SKillous apart. We could. Now, the drops are called out. 1 Marauder survives, but 1 Marauder can't really threaten too much, so SKillous, he's safe here in his main. Consolidating his army. Meanwhile, Spirit building up his Viking count, Widow Mines, Bio, Ghosts, all on 3 bases. He's working on it, but again, the supplies are still pretty neck and neck, which is always a good thing here for the Protoss. Is a good thing. Meanwhile, as SKillous is distracted, here comes a mine drop. Up! Does reaction time. Does pull away. Mine shot's going to be going off. Again, we minimize our losses. Armory still isn't done. We blink on forward, but it looks like the medevac will survive. Does manage to get away. Likewise, Spirit moving out with his main army. Looking to hit that 4th. It's just all about whether or not SKillous can keep up. If he does slip up 1 too many times, then that could be it. Could be all she wrote. Yeah, we dive on top of the 4th base. We do focus it down. We're gonna be able to hold on though. Mine shots go up. And we do force a cancel. A little bit premature of a cancel, I feel, as the army was being forced back. So SKillous being very careful there with his 4th. Meanwhile, the drop, it does slip into the main base. Not really getting too much damage done, but denying the 4th, that's good enough. As Spirit, he's actually ahead in the 4th base. It's on the way. It's almost done. Oh. That economic lead that SKillous has had is no longer there. Things are getting concerning here. We dive in forward. We try to chase down some of these Marauders. We do try to chase them down. Get a handful of them. No Disruptors, by the way. No Storm. Just Colossi as the main damage dealers. Do you have a minefield set up? You have to respect it. Big Colossus swipe's going to be going up. Ooh, and as the army's distracted, it looks like SKillous, he gets into the natural. Yeah, big warp in the Zealots in that natural base. Oh, sorry, big drop of Zealots and a warp in into the main. Viking is going to shut that down, but the warp in will finish. It will not be denied. And SKillous, he's barely breaking through. Yeah, there's just not enough here to break these tanks. The Bio's going down, the Marauders as well. And Spirit, he's being pulled apart. The Zealot warping into the main base is getting far too much done. Looks like the Colossi are going to be shut down. But the Zealots, what about the Zealots in the main? They can't be the production. 24 SCVs. Oh my god. 24 workers, and again, we're picking up Marines, Marauders. A Ghost if at all possible. And Spirit is falling further and further behind in the economy. He does have a 4th base that he can land, true. But he is hurting. And SKillous, he wants to break Spirit here and now. Doesn't want to let him recover. I'm a little bit shocked that the tank survived. I'm a little bit shocked, a little bit surprised. The tanks did make it. Did make it in the end, and from that, Spirit can maybe recover, but here comes another warp in. More Colossi on the way. The double drop is stuck, trapped here in between the bases. Shout to SKillous for keeping these stalkers in position. Not letting them move. Not letting them move. And from here, you can see that Spirit, he's just rebuilding the army he lost. Oh, takes down a full medevac. Takes down both. Both medevacs go down for 1 stalker, maybe 2. Oh, and for 2 stalkers. Good trade for SKillous. Moves out with his main army. Spirit trying to stabilize here back at home on 4 bases. Against Spirit, he just needs more time, but SKillous, he's snowballing out of control here in the supply. He's up 40 supply at this point. Does come across the 4th base. The planetary still not quite done. We could go for it, but we do pull back for a moment. Zealot coming in. Spirit once again distracted. And we get Zealots from one end. Zealots in the natural and in the 3rd base. Gonna get 8 SCVs. And SKillous gonna just calm down. Doesn't want to break through, doesn't want to force the issue. It looks like he wants to wait until he's maxed out. I mean, +3 is on the horizon, the upgrades are on the way, DTs, another Colossi. Yeah, we're knocking down these rocks, and SKillous, he is about to max. Meanwhile, Spirits, even if we have like the most perfect EMPs, I'm not seeing good enough SimCity. I'm not seeing the good enough SimCity here. There's no tank line, no Widow Mines either. Nice EMPs here on the Stalkers at least. Oh, but you can see that we don't care about we don't care about the EMPs. There is a tank behind this. Good concave out of Spirit though. Very nice concave. And SKillous is going to rotate around, trying to avoid it. Trying to avoid that tank. Am I going to be shut down? EMP on the Colossi. Zealous heads straight for the natural. They try to. Waiting for more reinforcements. Ooh, as we cast some Archons. These are expensive losses, by the way. We got 1. Barely saved the other 2. He moves out of SKillous. Spirit fighting back quite hard. And hey, Spirit, he's rebuilt his SCVs. Like, his economy is still looking good. Spirit, he's holding. He is holding on. Really good concave, really good EMPs. Disruptors are going to be scary to deal with, but not impossible. And there's no Skytoss yet. I would still give SKillous the edge, but Spirit, he's in there. He's holding his own. Rotating around. Another Robo's on the way for SKillous. I believe that's the 3rd Robo. Yeah, 3rd Robo on the way. Zealot drop is coming back in. We do have some reinforcements though. We do have a couple of Marines. But there's no bunker. Go for another big warp in. Go for the EMP. Can we deny the warp in? Oh, we cannot. The Zealots, they do warp in. They're diving on top of those ghosts, forcing a big reaction here out of Spirit. Oh, getting another ghost and another. What's that? 4 ghosts? Oof. Expensive losses there for Zealots of all things. We managed to get a good chunk of ghosts. SKillous doesn't keep pushing though. I am concerned that again he's giving his opponent a little bit too much time when it comes to pushing towards the 3rd base, but there are tanks in position. So I'm feeling too confident. And with that, we do see SKillous just rotating around. Has been spotted. Has been spotted by Spirit. Denies the 5th, as that is the main base floated over. a fight could still go either way. A lot of this is going to hinge on those disruptors. Like, if they connect, SKillous wins. If they don't, then Spirit can, or he does have a chance to take a fight. Well, as we do pull back, Disruptor does get caught out. 2 Novas get baited as well. We have 2 Novas left. Not the best start for SKillous. 2 Novas remaining. We're down to 1. But the cooldown is about to reset. That last Nova zones away the army, gets a Marauder. You can see SKillous is trying to keep the attention here in the center, going for another Prism drop. I mean, this Zealot Harass has been doing really well. Has been trading so well here against Spirit so far. But maybe it's gone far enough, as the drop is going to be denied. The 5th base is getting up and running. That's a big win for Spirit. And now he's maxed. Spirit, he's maxed out. This fleet beacon transition from SKillous is late. We could have done this sooner. We could have done this much sooner here if we wanted to go for a longer game, but clearly SKillous thought he could end it. Clearly he could not. So now we have a delayed tech switch into Sky Toss. 2 Stargates, fleet beacon, +1 air attack on the way. 2nd Cybercore for double upgrades for said Sky Toss. It's gonna need more time. 8 disruptors. And SKillous, he is pushing towards that 5th base. He's threatening a stim. Threatening a dive. Prism does slip into the main again. We don't have any supply. We don't have any free supply. We warp in 1 DT. We have to bleed out a couple of units here for another big warp in. That could have been huge. And Prism goes down. Again, your macro is too good, SKillous. No free supply to warp in. Smurge. As Spirit now on 5 bases. Oh, this space though looking a little bit exposed. We're gonna get the sensor tower. Never goes off. Gets 2 Marauders. Good damage dealt here by SKillous. DTs, they come in. They catch the army. Oof. Who catches who though? That was a nice sneak up by the DTs, but yeah, you can see how fragile they are, especially when there's detection. They get shut down. Meanwhile, going for the dive. Nice EMP. Novas go off. Good connections here out of SKillous. And we have more Novas available. Oh my god, he throws all of them out. A little bit too premature there, throwing away every single Nova. But regardless, it looks like SKillous, he still has enough anyway to break through. I think he lost 3 disruptors in that fight. He still has 5 left. Still has those 5 disruptors left here, zoning away the army. Going for the 4th base. Never goes up. Ooh, gets 2 ghosts. Big pick up there by SKillous. More Purification Nova is going to be going off as well. They connect with the tanks. Yeah, tank's going to be going down. It looks like the writing is on the wall. There just is not enough here from the Terran, and GG gets called. SKillous takes a 2-1 lead in the upper bracket finals. Oh my god, is SKillous going to go all the way? Is he going to go the distance here? As 1 more game is all he needs to take this series. Meanwhile, Spirit has to fight back here and now to force the ace match. Again, in this tournament, in this qualifier, SKillous, he took down Showtime, he took down Raynor, and now he's on the brink of taking down Spirit as well. SKillous looking better than he has in a very long time, I'll be honest here. Looking very solid, very well practiced. And at least in these qualifiers, in this event, he has been, I mean, taking down some heavy favorites, to be honest. Some heavy favorites. And we'll see if he can keep on going here. Again, some of the pressure is off of SKillous because he's already qualified for the main event. He is already invited and he's claimed his plane ticket to the offline finals. But who will join him? And will he get that #1 seed? Oh boy. Here we go. Game number 4 going to be on Oceanborn. Okay, a bit of a smaller map here compared to side Delta. We can have quite a bit of aggression on this map, but here we go in the top left-hand corner. We have SKillous for Team Liquid. One game away. Meanwhile, in the bottom right-hand corner, he has to win this game to force the ace match. It is Spirit for Na'Vi. Here we go. But again, I do appreciate that SKillous did decide to mix it up a little bit. And go for something like a Twilight Council opener into Blink. It's a very different playstyle, very different setup here. And the question becomes, what do you do here in Game 4? How do we spice it up even further? What do you have for us? As we're still just waiting for our tech of choice. Cybercore is done, Gateway's finishing up, Herb Scout is coming in. Going to be confirming that Spirit is not going for any cheese. Meanwhile, we can see that this is a Rax Expand economic opener out of Spirit. He's not going for a faster factory. He's not going for any kind of weird one base all in. Should be expanding behind this. As you can see, Skillous being as annoying as possible. They're delaying the expansion for as long as he can. Does get in, does create an annoyance as he is forced out. But as we did mention, it was an economic opener here out of Spirit. Getting into his CC, a little bit delayed. Cybercore is done, and we're just waiting for our tech of choice here from Skillous. On a map as small as Oceanborn, I would like a Twilight Council. I would like to see Blink on the way. I do think that we have seen Spirit punish Stargate openers already in this series, and it may be best to avoid that and avoid giving Spirit the chance to punish you, but we'll see. We'll see what Skillous is thinking of. As there we go, the probe moves out. We have our tech, and it is going to be... Ooh, that was not on... I did not think that was on the table, by the way, but apparently it was. That is a Rover opener out of Skillous. Okay. Something unique, something yet seen in this series. A Robo opener usually leads into Fast Colossus. This is a good way to shut down heavy bio play. If Spirit had gone Rax Expand into a 3 Rax, then Skillous would shut it down. He would completely shut it down. As we can see, it was a Rax Expand into a factory followed by another Rax. Interesting. I'm curious how this dynamic plays out. So, Spirit, he may go all in. What I'm referring to is that Spirit has delayed his starport. It looks like he's going to go for a 3rd Rax before starport. So, essentially what I'm getting at is that Spirit is going for... There it is. There's a 3rd Rax, by the way, now starting up. Very delayed starport, very delayed medevacs. It means that we're sacrificing drop play. We're sacrificing an earlier medevac timing to build up a death bull of an army. To build up a lot of Marines, a lot of Cyclones, a lot of Marauders. And then we either pull the boys or we hit a later timing, but a stronger timing with our eventual medevac production. That's why I said that this could be an all-in, because there are players that just pull the boys with this when they hit with Stim. As I say that, Stim is on the way, and we're getting into early tank production. Okay, so again, Spirit, he's building up quite an army here, and it has to be respected. Meanwhile, we can see the Skillous. He's going Robo into a Twilight Council that should be for Charge or Blink. Meanwhile, with the faster Robo, we should be going for a faster Bay. We have not gone for the Bay yet, which is a bit concerning. We haven't gone for any safety immortals either. Here we go, Job making its way towards that main base. It looks like with that Robo opener, with that Robo of choice, we've just gone for a very fast Prism. It's something we don't see too often, to be honest. We don't see this too often. We dive into the main base, we focus on one of the Cyclones. Uh-oh, we're not ready. Spirit, he's not ready, not yet. He's still building up. We lose the Cyclone. Marines are here. Stim is not done, by the way. The tank is looking exposed, and we are losing quite a lot. Marines are falling. SCVs as well. Skillous is forced out, but this was a good drop. He got a full scout of the main base. He saw how late the starport was. He caught a Cyclone, 5 SCVs, a couple of Marines. And from here, Skillous, he's not done. He can still pick off a couple of extra units. There we go. He's going for the mineral line. Tank is sieged. Yeah, the tank is sieged. A volley goes off. Oof. Stalker is taking a lot of hits, and we do get one more Marine. But again, not much else. So SKillous is going to be retreating. Meanwhile, Stim is done. Combat Shields is now on the way. Now, after the damage that was just dealt, do we have it in us here to pull the boys, to go all in? With Combat Shields starting, I don't think so. I think we're just working on the next step. Reaper is caught. Combat Shields on the way. Tanks are amassing. Medevacs have finally arrived, and now we can push. Now we can commit. And Spirit, he is moving out through the center, headed towards the third base here of SKillous. SKillous, are we ready for this, by the way? Shield battery still not done. It's finishing up in a couple of seconds. No overcharge. Stim has completed. We have the one tank behind this. So far, good engage out of SKillous, slowing it down. Does slow it down in Spirit. He just backs off. He backs up completely. He gets punished for it, by the way. 3 Marines go down. Oof. A brutal loss there by Spirit. Behind this, we have Charge on the way. Gateways. We're not going for a Colossus heavy composition. We're skipping it entirely, going for Gateways. Or Mass Gateway. Blinkstalker Zealot. A very interesting style here out of SKillous, considering that this is all based off of a Robo Opener, which is traditionally not how things go. So very exciting. Dark Shrine's on the way as well, just to keep Spirit on his toes, to harass, to go for some drop play. And Spirit has yet to start up a third. Yeah, we just pull the boys. It has to be an all-in. This does make sense. I mentioned before that the build of Spirit can lead into pulling the boys and going for an all-in anyway. But it does feel like this is a reaction. This is a reaction to the game state right now. I don't think this was the initial plan, but it was always on the table. It was always an option available here, and we do confirm. It's all or nothing. Either Spirit ends the game and takes down his opponents, or he ends the game trying. The boys are here. Tanks are sieging up. That's 3 tanks, by the way. Yeah, overcharge is popped. The boys have fallen. That's still a good chunk of Marines, though. They're stimming on forward. They're trying to dive on top of the Immortal. The Immortal, it stands strong a little bit longer, tanking a lot of shots. But it looks like there might be a little bit too much bio. Yeah, the Marines and Marauders, they stim on forward. 22 SCVs have gone down. SKillous, I feel like he should have pulled the boys. He should have pulled his own workers there just to survive, just keep going. Just have a better engagement, I should say. As he barely doesn't have enough. Do we have someone else coming in? SKillous, can he hold? Gets on top of the tanks, gets one of them, gets the other. 2 tanks go down. We have more Zealots as well. We have an Immortal coming in to reinforce, and SKillous, he holds. And he did not even lose a worker. I was saying that he could have pulled the boys there, and I stand by that, but clearly he didn't have to. Clearly he barely does get away with it. Yeah, Zealots, they dive in once again. The 1DT swiping away, going for the tank. He's going for the tank. Do we have a scan? Oh, we do not. No scan. We force the on siege. There we go. Scan is forced there on that one Dark Templar. And we don't have any energy. We don't have any energy. We're going for more DTs. And SKillous, he's on a timer right now. And it's not going to work out. The Invisible Man, the Dark Templar, they're just too good. They're getting so much value here already. Marines are going down. We come in from behind. We dive on top of the tank. And we do focus it down. And Spirit, that's all he had left. He's down to a handful of Marines and a handful of Marauders. He's stutter stepping his heart out. His medevacs are out of energy. They can barely support themselves. And GG gets called. SKillous, he takes the series 3-1, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Papi. Oh my god. Very well done. Very nicely played here again. SKillous, he took down Showtime, Spirit, and Raynor so far in this tournament. Some of the best of each race here in the European region. SKillous, he's poised to come out in first place, and he'll be waiting in the grand finals of the European and Americas region. Meanwhile, Spirit gets knocked down to the lower bracket. He's not out of the tournament, but he's down to the lower bracket, and he's going to be facing off against the winner of our next series, Showtime and Raynor, coming up next. Here we go again. Raynor and Showtime, this is a qualifying match. The loser is eliminated. The winner qualifies for the main event. Showtime and Raynor, they're so close and they're deserving to be a part of the main event, but there's only enough room for one of them. Only enough room for one, for either Showtime or Raynor. This is going to be a very intense best of 5. I wish them both the best. Wish them both the best of luck. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, Showtime versus Raynor coming at you next.